Coming up, back to school, the must-have items to stay safe if you're heading back into the classroom, plus virtual tutors. If you're in need of some extra help, tutoring services have gone remote, and it's paying off for some students. And inspiring kids. These teenagers are setting an example for all kids to follow. Their story just ahead.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
All right, and welcome to Nightly News Kids Edition. It's great to be back with you. I took a little time off for vacation. I hope you and your families had a safe and enjoyable holiday weekend. We've got some pretty cool stuff coming up today, including a group of teenagers we can't wait to introduce you to who are really doing something amazing in Chicago. But first, one of our top stories we continue to cover is the coronavirus. New cases continue to pop up every day in the United States. And as more kids head back to school this week, health officials continue to stress the importance of staying safe. And we know that means, of course, the mask wearing and the social distance and making sure those hands are clean. And that's where we start today with your questions. And joining us now is our friend, Dr. John Torres. Dr. John, our first question is about getting back to the classroom.
Hi, my name is Marcus and I'm from Denver, Colorado. My question is, if we do go back to school, what would be the most likely safety precautions that we would take?
And, Marcus has a great question, but for some kids, the safety precautions might be actually just doing school at home. For other kids, it's going to school and taking certain precautions. And for a lot of kids, it's going to be in between, doing school at home and sometimes going to school in a building itself. But when you're in the building, follow the guidelines that the teacher and the staff have down for you. So you're going to notice certain things. Maybe the desks are further apart. Maybe there's glass partitions between you and other students. When you eat lunch, you might not go to the cafeteria. You might eat lunch inside the classroom. You'll notice some staff members, they could be wearing face shields to protect themselves. They could be wearing goggles to protect their eyes, but they're all going to be wearing masks. That's something essential, especially if you can't social distance. And of course, lots and lots of hand washing or sanitize your hands if you can't get to a sink. But the one thing to remember is you want to make sure you do all of this, or at least try to do this, with a smile.
And our next question comes up from time to time, especially during some of these hot days we've had lately, Doctor. Here it is.
My name is Shervin. I'm 7 years old, and I'm from Illinois. Can coronavirus spread it through water? Kids Edition's the best.
Oh, thanks very much. Well, Dr. John, we hear this question a lot. Is there any new thinking on coronavirus and water?
No, there's actually the same thinking we've had over the last few months. It doesn't spread very well in the water. So it's not the water that you need to be worried about. It's the other people around the water. Whether you're at a pool, a lake, or the beach, you want to make sure that you social distance. Wear those masks when you're outside of the water if you can't keep 6 feet apart. But when you're in the water, make sure you take the mask off. But even more importantly, make sure you do stay 6 feet apart from everybody else once you're in that water. Again, the water's not the concern. The people there are. So you want to stay away from them as best as possible, so you can keep yourself and your family safe.
All right, Dr. John Torres, thanks so much as always. Well, we know many of you are back at school. For some of you, that means being in the classroom. For others, it's learning remotely at home. And we also know that school can be tricky at times, especially right now. Well, a couple of young women are going the extra mile, lending their knowledge to students who need a little extra help at home. Natalie Morales has details.
Going to school from home is hard, but when your parent spends all day helping those sick with the coronavirus, it can be even harder. That's why UCLA graduate Mackenzie Lowenstein started Frontline's Tutoring to help those already helping others.
I can't imagine, working 12-hour shifts day and night trying to fight this virus, and now you're in charge of your child's education as well.
Mackenzie's organization offers free virtual tutoring to the children of healthcare workers. In just a few months, it's grown to include more than 200 tutors all across the country.
I've had parents just cry tears of joy to me that they found this resource.
It's tough wearing every single hat in the house.
Ryan Raskin and his partner Hector, a pharmacist, were feeling overwhelmed trying to keep their young sons on track during virtual learning. Now twins Trevor and Tristan get weekly help in reading and math.
I like Ethan a lot, and he helps me with my math. He is a great tutor. Ethan makes math really fun.
Awesome. Good job, Trev.
Ryan says the tutoring has been a lifesaver.
The timing of it was just great. We were really at a time of need for it and was very appreciative of it.
Like Mackenzie, when the pandemic hit, 16-year-old Sophia Scott looked for a way to give back. So she too started her own tutoring service, Quarantine's Tutoring, focused on families that couldn't afford to pay for extra help.
Not only with distance learning, but just with the general crisis of the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of families are experiencing economic hardship.
Studies show that how much kids fall behind when school goes virtual can depend on their family's financial situation. And students who need the most help often get left behind.
Our tutoring service is completely free to make sure that your financial status never impacts your academic achievement ability.
The structure of the plasma membrane is called...
Quarantine's Tutoring now works with dozens of students across the country, making sure they have access to the extra help they need to succeed.
There are so many inequities that have been created by the coronavirus pandemic, and I think just depending on where you live and what's needed in your own community, you can really find so many opportunities to get involved and help the people around you.
2 inspiring young women helping families in need.
I do want to do 8 plus 6.
And making sure students excel at school, no matter where it is this year.
All right, Natalie, what an awesome idea. Thanks. Finally, we want to take you to a neighborhood in Chicago where a group of teenagers saw a need and sprung into action. Here's Kevin Tibbles with that.
How many you need? 5.
Farm fresh goodness in an inner city food desert.
Are there very many places to buy fruits and vegetables in Austin?
No, this is the exact reason why we're here.
Welcome to the Austin Harvest Market, set up and run by high school students on Chicago's west side. What is a food desert? It is a place where there are very few grocery stores selling nutritional foods like fruits and vegetables.
You're looking at a place where liquor stores outnumber grocery stores. Probably somewhere around 15 to 16 liquor stores and maybe only 2 to 3 supermarkets at best.
When these kids got the idea to open up shop, their youth group even purchased a liquor store and tore it down to create this space and sell wholesome food at affordable prices.
It's only fruit and vegetables, no junk.
They offer up everything from tomatoes and lettuce to fresh cut flowers to neighbors who often had to travel a long distance to shop. And it was all born out of a summer of angry protest that saw young people nationwide take to the streets. These kids wanted to continue by inspiring positive change.
This is one of our ways to fight social injustice and to really make Austin the best representation of the people that live here. We brought fresh produce, fresh flowers for the community to come and eat, so hopefully we're getting everybody to eat healthier.
Former Chicago Bears linebacker Sam Acho assisted with the startup costs and was there on opening day.
Not only are they getting jobs and getting paid and bringing healthy food into their communities, but they're also changing a stereotype. So many people have a negative stereotype of Black people in America.
So what does this place represent to you?
Fresh and fresh. Hope, renewal, growth.
Young people filling bags with so much more than just a nutritious meal.
It gives us a work experience for in the future so that we'll already know how to work in like public places and be like professional.
Setting an example for all kids to follow. An oasis where good things are bound to grow.
Man, that is such important work they're doing. Kevin, thanks very much. Well, that's going to do it for us. Parents, just a reminder, if your child has a question, send a video to us at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com. We want to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please take care of yourself and each other.